Good morning. We are back. Sorry for the delay. Wow, this morning was a little rough. The backdrop did not like where it was yesterday, so we had to do a little bit of rearranging, and technology is hard. Welcome to Season 4. Oh my gosh, I've already forgotten. Episode 3 of the NFR Hangover. You guys, before we get into it, we know there's going to be a rodeo now, so we can move forward with all the things. Before we get started with Tony and Jim Boy, I want to make sure we get a shout out to Rodeo Bum and Branded Buzzworm for coming on board as partners this year, and of course, Cinch Jeans, making us look good. I know the boys have received their clothing for the partnership, so we all will be sporting Cinch. We're super grateful for that partnership. And then also want to give a shout out. It's always weird when I do this. Give a shout out to Bullfrog Creatives for sponsoring or partnering with us and Jim Boy to bring this little show to you. If you do not know, Bullfrog Creatives has a new recruitment platform helping to make connections with college rodeos, college rodeo coaches, and student athletes. So, man, hopefully it goes smoother the rest of the way in. You guys don't want to miss this one. It's got to go up from here.
It's time for predictions and having some fun. It's rodeo time, Vegas. Excited.
Listen,
I got my Bucky the Beaver with his cinch hat on. He's going to do some predictions today.
I don't know what that is. You guys were talking about it, and it made me feel really left out. It sounds like a magical store.
Oh, it's the world's best place to get fuel and jerky and food, and the 400-pound version of me would have loved that thing. Good thing I lived on the West Coast when I was that big, because I would have never left there. I'm going to set him back over here. There he goes.
So they announced yesterday, not very long after we went off the air yesterday morning, that what the plan was moving forward. So round 1 will be tonight. Round 2, round 3. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 1, 2, 3, 4. So Wednesday morning will be round 5.
Yes, Wednesday morning's round 5, and it's a slack perf.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 1, 2, 3,
6.
Round 6. You're right, Jim Boy's. Yes.
Because it'll finish the second run of all the cattle.
Yep.
Oh.
And it's a slack perf. So just family, from what we're gathering, just family members can go in and watch. And then we get back on track that night, round 7, where it should be scheduled. And we found out a lot more information too, that the date on your ticket is the date you get in. So even though it says round 2 tonight, it's the date on your ticket that gets you in. Round 1 will get a full refund. I know there's a lot of logistics, and a lot of people from looking on social media are upset about it. And I understand people, wait all year. They may have one chance to go one night.
Or only about one night. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the big picture, the tragedy that struck, I think we have to step back away from ourselves and realize, I think as an industry, rodeo did a great thing by, with everything going on, taking the night off. So, So I'm excited. And I've had people reach out to me and even comment on the post I put yesterday. Well, how come it's not just another perf? Just have a morning perf or afternoon perf. People are there, they can go. It's a staffing issue.
It has to be.
I think that a lot of people are part-time. Those jobs are part-time, or they have full-time jobs during the day, and that's what they do at night. And I just don't think the turnover from having the performance, even at 10 o'clock, to turn around, get everything cleaned up, reset to go again. So I think Las Vegas Events and the PRCA did a heck of a job. We're going to get to have the rodeo. And, what's one thing about the Western lifestyle? We know how to adjust, adapt, and call an audible and move on. So it's exciting. It's rodeo time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that the fact that we get to have a rodeo at all, because there were some conversations about, I mean, if you think about it, it technically is an active crime scene. So, I mean, it could have been a completely different outcome.
Yeah, it could have been shut down for a couple of weeks or a week or 4 days. I mean, being shut down just a day, we're very fortunate.
Yeah.
How many cases of fraud do you think there'll be? The people that two ticket holders down the line, you know what I mean?
Right. Oh, no, I'm sure.
Ticket, sold some else, and then the last person that ultimately paid for it, we'll see if they get their money back.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, and I mean, because that happens. Like somebody bought tickets last year at this time, and then plans changed, so they sold them, and then they couldn't go, and they sold them, and then they couldn't go.
So the original buyer gets the refund.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Hey, what about our Pro Fantasy Rodeo League, you guys? We've got 32 teams in, and people can enter up to 6 o'clock tonight at the Pacific Standard Time. Out there in Vegas, you get 6 o'clock to enter. What did we have last year? 11, 12?
Oh, listen, I know how many we had because I sat in in the very last hole for most of the week. There were 17.
Okay, so we've almost doubled up.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
I do know, I will say, I have to give a shout out. His name is Ryan. Ryan works for Pro Fantasy Rodeo, and Ryan has gotten just shy of 75 emails from me. Thank you, Ryan. You are appreciated and loved because I keep getting, I am trying to explain to people how to add our league, like get in our league. And apparently I am terrible at that. And so they're like, I can figure it out. But because we have that code and it offers you that discount to get into our league, poor Ryan gets an email from me. Hi, Ryan, can you please add so-and-so's team? Because I am terrible at explaining how to do this. So,
I love it.
Shout out to Ryan. Thank you very much. I was trying to pull up our league, which also I'm terrible with technology today. I need to go home and start over.
We've got
even more.
I counted them this morning, 32.
Who was the last one on the list?
Lazy Bar R.
Yep. So yeah, we're climbing up there. I do have to give a shout out to all of the people that are in our league because we have some creative people in our league with these names. Some of them aren't creative and just name their teams Bullfrog Creative because even though it says I'm creative, it goes in spurts. But some of these team names are really good.
Oh, Cujo's Cowboys going for the repeat. He already told me that on the phone yesterday.
I'm sure he did. Talking smack.
Oh, I love it. He's
been talking smack for months.
Ever since he this
is funny. Please tell me you don't wear those straw hats in public.
Carrie, they're my daughter's straw hats that are old. They're sentimental. They were when she was a little tiny girl. And that one with the flower on it, you actually wore the Vistadori ride, Carrie Alcorn. So don't tell me. You know I just stole it from you. Oh, but hey, I can't believe you, Carrie Alcorn. You figured technology out and you're on Facebook. Proud of you, buddy. Now join our league.
Yeah, get your team in there. I feel like we're going to shame you into it now because you just called out those hats.
I mean, those one hats have names on them, Carrie, and yours on both of those. Those right there, your names are on those hats, buddy. Oh, all right. Hey, so who do you guys think is going to win the all around this year?
Okay,
let me rephrase that. Who do you think should be reserve all around? Do you think it's a race for reserve all around this year?
Is there ever? I mean, obviously somebody someday is going to come up in the ranks, but how many years has he been at the top?
This is what his fifth gold buckle, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, fifth all around, and I think maybe the first year he had to battle out a little bit, but
what is the record?
Trevor's got 1,900 of them, I think, but
that's what I thought too.
But I mean, if you look, like I've got his standings right here. So the all around right now, Stetson's got $459,620. Say $460,000. Nelson Wyatt's, a close second with $144,000. But that's not all of Stetson's money because the Extreme Bulls don't count in there. So he's got 400 and say what I say, rounded up 460,000 in all around standings. Saddle Bronc, he's got 251, and then in the bull riding, he's got 368. So he has got over 500,000 in actual earnings won this year. So he just by far and away just having a phenomenal year again. He's set to probably, he goes there and has the finals he can have. You're looking at he can be knocking on $1 million a year, really. $80,000 averages. Say he gets both of those, $30,000 rounds. It's not out of reach for him to have $1 million year this year. So,
I love the text messages that you guys send me. So you guys should know, like, I blew a fuse or something in my USB, and so I had to restart my whole computer. Anyway, Jim Boy texts and says, "Did my contract not get renewed?" Because everything went out. We both got replaced. Oh, we both got replaced by Gizmo, Kraken, and Whiplash.
That's
accurate. I feel like that's what.
So one of us is Whiplash and one of us is Gizmo. Yay!
Sorry, totally changed the subject there, but
it.
I was just reading those.
That's awesome.
I would like to. I mean, listen, when you look down through the all around and those people that are competing in more than one event, there's some of these guys that, well, I'll be frank, that don't get recognized for competing in more than one event, right? Because they only make it to the NFR in one event.
Right. Well,
are the all-around points accumulated similar to? I'm sure that the answer is no, but when you qualify for all-around points at the collegiate level, you have to have so many points or so many dollars won in an event. Is it similar at the pro level, or is it just all the money?
Well, you've got was it Jim Boy 2,000 or 3,000 in your second event to count, for it to pull forward, I believe.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I was thinking they lowered it to 1,000, but man, I don't.
It might be
the Linderman. I get it confused. Is it the same?
I think the Linderman might be 1,000 event each in, and then the all around it's 2,000. I mean, we could go look at that rule book that Jimmy says.
Speaking of the Linderman, I mean, you've got a bull rider there, Josh Frost, who, he's talented enough to rope calves there. He really is.
No,
and you get him the right steers, he can bulldog.
Well, watching it on the Cowboy Channel this summer, you'd see him. He'd make short rounds in the tie down roping, and. Well, actually, his wife was making short runs in the breakaway rope, and they just talked about his tie-down roping. But no, you've seen him, and that's one thing I think with rodeo, and we've seen it as coaches, Jim Boy. We want to go get that multi-event cowboy or cowgirl, but they're getting harder and harder to find because there's so much money when they specialize in an event, and so they're focusing on it, or they'll work multiple events in high school, then they'll back off to a few less events in college, but then when they decide to go pro, hey, they got to pick and choose because it costs so much to get down the road with multiple horses, multiple events, multiple rigging bags if they're rough stock. Perfect example, you got first-time NFR qualifier in the team rope at heading, Marcus Terrio. We've all watched Marcus from junior high, win the all-around at junior high finals. I think he might have won it at the high school finals. Then he won it as a freshman there in Casper at the college finals. Then he goes and wins the timed event championships a couple years ago. This young man can head, he can tie down rope, he can steer wrestle, he can heel, but he had to pick one, and so he's focused on the team rope and the heading, and that's what he's made his first NFR appearance in this year. But at any given time, if Marcus wanted to load up a dogging horse, a tie down horse, and his head horse, hit the rodeo trail, he could make a run for the all around. But that's a whole nother bunch of entry fees and travel logistics that you've got to put in. And Trevor did it. How many years did Trevor do it for? That's what's impressive.
Apparently 1,092.
That was just a guess. I mean, if I was good at numbers and guessing, I'd have won the lottery already.
Well, it's just interesting to see because I think on the surface, we really only know them for that one event. So like, Coleman Proctor's in here, Peyton Bray, Marcus Terrio's in here.
Looking at here, just looking at the standings, Nelson Wyatt, he's going in the heading. Caleb Schmidt's going, 4-time tie-down roping world champion. But the next two are guys that I personally know, Rushton Mitten and Taylor Santos.
Mm-hmm.
I watched both of those kids in high school rodeo out there in California. Kids, they're not kids, young men now. Rushton's making his first NFR appearance in the tie-down roping, but he's been the California Circuit Finals all-around champion. He's made the finals in the tie-down roping and the steer wrestling. His dad is a great all-around hand, Casey Minton, that, Rushton's a chip off the old block. And then Taylor Santos, I watched him win multiple all-arounds in high school from, district, state, him and his brother. They're great hands, but they decided to specialize in an event. And you also look at the all-around right there. Caleb, Rushton, Taylor, all three tie-down ropers, and they're third, fourth, fifth in the all-around standings. And then you got Peyton Bray, who won the all-around at Salinas this year. You want to talk about a pretty cool notch in your belt right there to win the all-around at Salinas over that long score, to go out there and place in the tie-down roping and around, or the average, and place in the team roping. So, and if you look after Stetson, it's, how many of them are timed event guys?
Yeah.
But right now it's Stetson's world. They're all just renting space in the suburbs of Stetson's world right there in the all-around race.
He is so amazing. I mean, I hope he's not watching because I don't want him to get a big head. But
I hope he's watching and shared with his family, because if they all watch, that would be like another 100 viewers for us every day.
I mean, I had an opportunity to interview him at the Casper Pro Rodeo a few years ago. I don't even know. All the years blend together. But down to earth, super humble human being, and kind of like just willing to have a conversation with Joe Schmo here that had probably at that time had 500 followers anyway. And I'm related to all of them. So like, but just the fact that he would have that conversation without even a question, truth be told, like just didn't even care, was fine with it, and willing to give me the time of day and answer any questions that I had, and was super nice about it. And I think that speaks volumes. We've all seen when you have that kind of success, what it can do to you. So I don't know. I just think he just made my day. There you go. And I can't afford him in any of my teams. So
yeah, you can.
Well, I mean, I can, but I have to choose wisely.
If you just take him in both those events, you're 300,000. Now you've got 150 to spend between the rest of your events.
I did that.
So
I did. Team.
I also like to cheer for the underdogs, which is probably why I don't win.
Hey, I think this year in our league, we're at 32 in our league. If we can get to 35, which I'm sure we'll get to, we got to give a hard luck award. We got to give an award to the last place finisher.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah, we got to do something. Just, you know what?
Hey, okay, quick plug. Before we talk about other predictions, let's give a plug to I got all the things. Our go-round awards are going to be supplied by Tony. Branquinho has a little project called the 180 Project. Actually, I just had somebody text me. Is that the same guy? And I said, yes, it is. It is the same guy. He's half the man he used to be.
I love it.
So Tony's project is called the 180 Project. What does that say?
Better every day. It's backwards.
Every day.
When you look in the mirror.
Rodeo bum shirts, Rodeo Bum is a brand that the Branded Buzzworm puts out. We also have Buckle Bunny Pimp shirts. We do have some hats coming as well. We have coffee cups that say Cow Boss, which we all know who the Cow Boss is. Gosh, it's not me. Everybody thought I was going that way. Rodeo Bum. We have a ton of stuff this year. And the best part about it is we have it in stock, and you should be getting it rather quickly rather than waiting until April. So
yeah, but that was like an award. That was like a Christmas present that you finally get, and you're so excited because you forgot you were getting it.
Yeah, we do. We also have NFR Hangover hats coming at you. We will have some new ones.
I like it.
Jeez. Anyway, lots of good stuff. So one of the things that we talked about, I guess that we can chat about too, is our Rodeo Bum of the round. So if you guys have a pick, and it could be anything. Like we saw him at a rodeo, I don't know, Cheyenne. We saw him at a rodeo in Cheyenne, and they had bad luck, but look, they turned their year around, and here they are, or whatever. Whatever you guys think, like we'll have some awards. We will try to get them to the contestants. Maybe.
So you're saying when Jaco Roper wins a round and he has another good interview, could he be?
Yes, that one. That he deserves an award. He deserves that.
Yes. Whatever. We make the rules.
I'm interested in hearing some more about his dreams.
Yeah.
Or
the most epic interview Cowboy Channel ever had right there.
I obviously missed this. What in the world?
Oh, Heidi, come on.
Oh, Heidi.
Well, now you have to tell me about it. I'm going to have to find it, too.
Well, this is the show for it.
That's right.
That good?
Oh, it was that good. It was that good.
It was the talk of the town. It's only about a month or two ago.
Okay.
And he got fined for it.
Huh?
They think they fined him for it, didn't they?
Yeah, he got fined for it.
Okay. Who was it?
Jaco Roper. He did well at up there in Washington. Where was it?
Is it Ellisburg?
Right up.
Well, no, is the Washington name? I can't say it right. Yeah. There was like a finale type deal there.
Yes.
Okay.
The Washington name I can't say right. That is so accurate.
And I got it, and I figured it out.
And I was wanting to say Toppenish, but it's Puyallup.
He even made a TikTok about it.
Yeah.
Do you have it?
I'm gonna have to pull it up on my other computer, on my laptop here.
His interview with Amy Wilson.
Yeah, it's on Instagram. I can tell you what he said.
Oh goodness.
So, can you find it?
I can. Do I want to share it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
And here's the deal. Okay, so you got a young guy. He's a rookie. Just had one of the best, right? One of the biggest wins of his career. Did really well. I mean, he ain't been off the horse 10 minutes, and he gets a mic shoved in his face, and nothing against Amy or anybody, but he's not just real used to it, and he just was ecstatic, and he let his feelings. She kind of like, how do you feel after that? And he says, oh my gosh, that was better than any wet dream I ever had.
Epic, the most epic interview ever on the Cowboy Channel.
Jaco Roper and Clayton Bigelow, 90 points, and that was an amazing final round of bareback riding. Jaco, you started it off. You're number 11 in the world. This should solidify your spot to your first NFR. Put into words what that means to you.
Oh, man, I'm trying to get this smile off my face right now, but it's not coming off. That felt so good. I felt like every wet dream I've ever had.
Look at Amy. Oh, my God.
If you could zoom in on the look on Clayton Bigelow's face.
Was
that's Clayton Bigelow standing there with him, and they split it or whatever. And the look on Clayton's face was pretty good. And what was really awesome was how well Amy handled it. Amy handled it like a champ.
She just rolled with it. And the great thing was it wasn't only on the Cowboy Channel, it was live in the arena for the whole crowd to hear.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, he got a fine for that from the PRCA. For being honest.
So I also like that he must have missed the class about how to do interviews. That he made that TikTok, and the headline is "How Not to Do an Interview."
He's a young guy. He's learning.
I really hope that he gets to do another interview to redeem himself a little bit.
Oh, I hope he just stays the same and does one tonight if he wins the round.
Oh my goodness!
Can you imagine? Well, did you have any dreams last night?
Yeah.
Did you dream about getting on this horse last night?
Oh, that's awesome. Well, hey, since we're talking about Jayco Roper and the bareback riding, well, should we kind of make some predictions? I hope he wins the round so we can hear him talk.
Yeah.
Oh,
I might need to go in and change my team around a little bit now.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, tonight, Keenan Hayes has got Little Red Hawk. And Jim Boy, this is your expertise. You know these horses better than I do.
Well, that's why my head was down for so long a while ago and I couldn't find the draw again. And just to explain, yesterday when they came out with the new schedule, what I'm assuming is everything that was drawn the first performance, I'm going to call them performances, not go-rounds, because I don't know if the first round is technically the 7th round or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm going to guess everything just got pushed back. So tonight's horses and bulls will come back in that Wednesday morning. They start the second draft of all the stock because there's 5 groups of rough stock, 5 different pins. And then the timed event cattle, there's 3 different pins. So they'll start, they don't get drawn until tonight. They start their runs tonight. And so that will finish the second run of all the timed event cattle. So
yes,
basically tonight's horses, I think, are typically just kind of the okay. They're kind of the middle of the line ones. They're not just the souped up hoppers. They're not the TV pin. They're not the eliminators.
Just kind of the good ones to get warmed up. Let's get the show started type deal.
And that Little Red Hawk, they've won rounds on him.
Yep.
So
Jess Pope's got true grit.
So I have a question, and maybe you did just answer this, but because don't they have like a specific pin each night?
Yeah.
So did last night's pin get moved to tonight or Wednesday?
Yeah. Okay. No. Tonight they just pushed it back.
Okay.
Just everything got pushed. So
what was drawn, and I don't think they've drawn tomorrow's yet. They'll probably be after. You'll probably find out about that after tonight's perf. And sometimes they'll draw two rounds, and I'm sure on the Wednesday deal, you'll know the night before. You'll probably know both rounds. So,
oh my goodness! So.
I also have a question. Do you think that it's going to change the level of competition in that Wednesday morning performance because nobody's ever performed slack for the NFR?
I think they're going to be locked in by that point. They've got 5 rounds under the belt. That you're coming out of what they consider, halftime. You're coming in, you got 5 rounds left starting right there. I think the people that are on a roll that have been hot are going to stay hot. And the people that are trying to find their groove, this might be a place where they can catch your breath and actually do it because you don't have the pressure and the nerves of 19,000 people sitting right down on top of you. So this actually may be a chance for the ones that really haven't got their finals going to turn it around right then and there, get a solid run, not be as amped up, not have as much energy, flowing through their body, just kind of take a breath and go make the run they've been looking for all week. But I don't think it's going to affect anything. As a matter of fact, like I say, it's, family only. So it'll be interesting to see because I think they're going to televise it still on the Cowboy Channel, how full the stands actually are, and I'd like to be there. And I know, Junior is from Brazil and Brazilians are of Portuguese descent, which I think Junior and I are related way down the line. So I can consider myself family and I want to get in the building. But I'm not sure they're going to let that happen. Well, but I'd just be interested to see.
I seen you post that yesterday, and I haven't seen that officially. And maybe they're trying to keep that on a down low. I don't know.
Yeah, I might have spilled the beans. Somebody posted it, and I reposted it. So.
The rights, they'll fill up half the place anyhow if they don't, if they didn't have to have a ticket. And then, how many?
All of Beaver, Utah is going to be Thomas and Mack on Wednesday morning.
Well, hopefully he knows somebody well enough to get in.
Do what?
I said, hopefully he knows somebody well enough to get in.
Well, I was wondering, the contestants get 8 tickets now. It used to be 10, wasn't it?
They get 1, and then you can buy 7.
Yeah. And so what if one of them ones was meant for me, for one of my former students? Do I have to show them my blood card, or it'll be interesting.
Your birth certificate,
yeah. How much did you say? How much do the rounds pay to win it?
30,000. Let me look it up right here. Let's see.
So you could win more in one day. Technically, you could win 60,000. That's a pretty good day.
Yeah.
But Heidi, you asked about the morning deal. Most of them Timies, they're not going to mind it. They're used to the morning slides.
Yeah.
And them roughies, I'm going to assume there'll still be some music, some production. I'm going to assume, and when you're putting your hand in the rigging or crawling down in there on one, your blood's going to be pumping, surely,
Yeah.
If they don't have the music turned up and Rocker doesn't draw a good one, you might be able to hear something there. I don't know.
You might actually be able to hear him not
be happy. Hey, we had a question in our NFR Hangover, on our NFR Hangover page, wanting to know more about us.
That is a loaded question right there.
Earl, I don't know what you have gotten us into wanting to learn more about us, but so Tony and Jim Boy, Tony was a rodeo coach for many, many years. Jim Boy is a rodeo coach, and I'm a has-been, I think, is what they would refer to me as. I don't rodeo anymore. I'm too old and I don't have good enough insurance.
I'd become a professional driver for my daughter to go to jackpots and rodeos. That's what I do.
I've become a professional BSer.
I love it.
No, in all seriousness, Earl, I am born and raised in Casper, Wyoming. I college rodeoed, I high school rodeoed and college rodeoed. I've been a part of the college finals since they have been in Casper. That's how I met both Tony and Jim Boy. And actually, I don't even know if I met you guys when I was a student. I think it was after.
Yeah. Well, because you started the production. What year was that, Heidi?
2009, I think.
Okay. My first year coaching was 2007.
So, and then I did production manager for the CNFR for 8 years, I believe.
Yeah.
And then I kind of walked away from all of it for a while, still went to the rodeo, and then in 2020, I came back around with Bullfrog Creative 2019 and just started highlighting rodeo programs when everything got shut down. And that's kind of where the inception of this program came from, was Jim Boy commented, and I think it was after, we didn't start till after round 1 was already done. Jim Boy made a comment that they should start a morning show and call it NFR Hangover. And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
And look what you created.
And the name's derived from the old days when we all had to stay up, and Central Time anyhow. The rodeo didn't come on until 11 o'clock at night. It was delayed, and you might have had a VCR. You might have recorded it and then watched it the next morning. But I couldn't do that. I had to stay up and watch it.
Yeah.
And so then by the middle of this next week, you're trying to get up and go to work, and you just felt like you had a hangover all week. So NFR Hangover. And I don't know if the name detracts people from even giving the show a chance. I'm sure it does. I'm sure there's like, oh no, I can't go watch that.
Yeah.
But I, a lot of the people, I wish a lot of the people on that unofficial Cowboy Channel page, and I use that because that has drawn so many fans, and not that they don't know, but they need to learn something. I mean, so I'm hoping that we can help educate a lot of them people. But even like last night, I was still seeing people asking last night what's going on. And then my brother used to rodeo quite a bit and be pretty involved and used to train horses and work on a ranch, but now he's in a bank and he's busy, and I get it. But he's been asking me questions the last few days, and he says, I had a buddy said that there's just gonna be 9 go-rounds now. And this was like yesterday afternoon, late in the afternoon. And he's like, yeah, I had a buddy said there's just 9 go-rounds. I'm like,
no.
And we never said that. We said we weren't sure that's the thing. We don't try to put out anything that we don't really know. So when you tell your buddy, he don't know what he's talking about. He needs to come watch our show.
Well, no, that's everything that I reposted yesterday was coming from the official NFR Experience Facebook page or a contestants page like Buddy Hawkins' page. Everything that I put forward on Facebook is something that I'm seeing, and it could be wrong from them too, but I try to at least go with a reliable source. So,
Yeah.
Oh, well, hey, back to the payouts. I'm looking at it right now. So, the go-round are going to pay $30,706 a man per round. It's almost $31,000 per round, and the average is going to pay $78,750 to win the average. So, I mean, you just win the average in one go-round. There's $110,000, $112,000 right there. If you just win one round and then just stay steady, and you're placing along the way too, if you win the average. So, I'm looking for the big payout in the average, is when my pro fantasy team wins every average title, and I get the $1 million bonus from, Pro Fantasy Rodeo on Teton Ridge. That's going to be awesome.
Listen, my dad he's a behind the scenes smack talker. And so I'm totally calling him out now. He's like, I'm going to get in the pay your rodeo fees for a year and break back out. And I'm like, okay, that's a great idea. You better get better insurance.
You tell him, Dad, it's for the PRC, not the senior pros. They're not going to let you transfer the money over.
I hope he's watching.
I didn't mean that, sir. I'm sorry.
Sir, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, that is awesome.
Shannon Dave said, good morning. Sorry I'm late. And I told her, don't worry, we were late too.
It happens. Oh, all right. Bareback riding. What do you guys think? We got 3 rookies, Keenan Hayes, Cade Sunier, and Dean Thompson. They're actual rookies. You got Jacob Lees, who's an NFR rookie. And then you got Richie Champion, who got in 15th. But then you've got Rocker. You've got Jess Pope. You've got Orrin Larson, Tim O'Connell. I mean, bunch of world champions in there. Who's going to take round 1? Who's going to set the bar and say, come get me, boys?
I have no predictions. I'm just here to manage.
Oh, awesome. Jim Boy, what do you think? You think Keenan Hayes is going to try to stake his claim right from the get-go? I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't. He's been doing it all year.
That's just a nice little horse, and he'll be able to just have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of them horses, like the Rubles horse and some of them. I don't really know them. But
right.
I haven't found the draw. I just remember a few of them that were out tonight. The True Grit horse, he's just a horse, I think. I mean, and the Little Red Hawk might not be quite what he used to be. I don't know.
To be in that deal.
Some of them horses get voted in just because they're remembered from year to year, and they get campaigned a little bit. So there'll be some new stuff mixed in throughout there. But
you know what? I'm just going to go out on a limb. Just because I like the name of the horse, and I think he's coming with a vengeance. Rocker Steiner on Risky Business wins round 1. That's just my pick.
Well,
I could be way wrong too, but hey, I've never batted. You can't bat 1,000 unless you swing at every pitch.
We have a few predictions in the comments. Jess or Richie, Shannon had Jess.
For my pro fantasy team, I want Jess Pope to win. Believe me, he's my guy. He's my guy. So, but I can't just always pick my team. I could, but
I mean, you could.
And I don't know much about Clayton Bigelow's horse that he has, Shady Nights, but I know if any of those guys want to start closing the gap, that $100,000 gap on Keenan Hayes, it needs to start tonight. You need to start making your move now. So, but I'm going to go with Walker as my pick. That's just kind of what I'm feeling right now. But I could go, there could be 14 other guys that beat him too. It's just the way it works.
So I tried recruiting 4 of these guys that are entered, that are contestants. Didn't get any of them. But
we gotta work on your recruiting game.
Jeez.
Ouch.
Well, Keenan didn't even go to school, but
I was gonna say.
I will say that 2 of them have been to our Bronx school. Keenan and Jess have both been to our bareback riding school clinic.
Is your Bronx school full?
No, it's not full yet. You can email me or get a hold of me, however, reach out to me on Facebook if you want. But
Heidi, did you say your son's a wrestler now, and wrestlers are what are becoming bareback riders, and Jimbo has a Bronx school? I see the connect. Look, I'm making connections. Yeah. I'm a creator of opportunity for your son, Heidi. Right now. It's all
about creating opportunities. Shush.
Oh, you're the creator. That's right.
The good part is that I know who to call when it happens. So, but not
they don't buck any horses in Casper. I don't know if anybody told you that, but you got to send them to Kansas. They don't have any bucking horses in Wyoming.
Nope, none.
They've all moved east.
Listen, because I am loyal to my fans, to my state, I picked Cole Reiner. And we've been talking about Cole since, I'm pretty sure he made it in 2020. So I want Cole to win. Not that I'm predicting that he will, but I would like for him to. So there you go. There's a prediction for you.
There it is. Perfect. All right. Now let's go down to the big man's event, the steer wrestling. Do we have the video of Jim Boy Bulldog a couple summers ago?
Oh, that's a good one.
I'll send it to Heidi.
Yeah.
Did
you lose a bet?
Huh?
Oh my goodness! Once again, this is typical.
No, I didn't lose a bet. I just decided to enter. I hadn't run one in several years, and my deal was I always wanted to enter with my boys, enter a rodeo, and compete against my boys. But Jayden, I don't know if he'll ever start bulldogging. Jalen, the older one, he did. So we both entered the little hometown open rodeo last summer. 2 summers ago.
That is cool.
And me and Jalen both were entered, and Jayden Hayes for both of us. And Jalen rode by, and I did not.
So you couldn't. There's no way you could ride by.
No, and Jalen asked Jessica like that day. He's like, Dad'll surely just ride by, won't he? And she's like, oh no, your dad don't ride by.
It ain't happening. He's not riding by.
It was a bad deal though. My horse was kind of 3-legged. He was kind of crippled, and I drew a runner, and it got kind of wide down there at the other end, and I hit and rolled, and then I woke up, and and then we got in the truck and drove to Gillette for the high school finals. We drove up to Hugo, Colorado, and unloaded for a few hours and slept, and got up and drove on up to Gillette. Got out of the truck, and it was grand. It was a good ride for my body.
Yeah. Oh, hey, but I tell you what, the thing about competing against your kids or with your kids, I got to do something very similar this summer. It was here at Fort Worth at Northside at the Open Rodeo. And this is just strategic planning on my part. Everybody's off rodeoing for the 4th of July. So I know that not a lot of the big gun team ropers are going to be there. So I entered the Open Rodeo with both my daughters, entered for the perf, and got to rope with both my daughters at the perf. And Kylie didn't do any good. Kirsten spun a steer for me, and she got the barrier to win it. But it was the most amazing feeling backing in the box at a rodeo with a crowd with my girls. It was awesome. So I could say it's those moments you cherish forever, even though on your case, Jimbo, you were going to be sore quite a bit afterwards. So, oh, wow.
Have you ever Googled yourself, Jimbo?
What?
Whoa, that's kind of a personal question, Heidi.
Whoa. Because there's a ton of stuff about you on.
There's no telling what might pop up. Was any of it in Vegas?
No, you're safe. No.
Oh, like that one year he came on the show in Vegas, actually hungover. He was drinking Pedialyte.
Look at all this. Rodeo News, Jimbo hat. Look at all these. This is my favorite picture. Yeah, you got a good Google showing.
Oh, yeah. I tell people I think I was really good enough to make the NFR. I just never did chase it. I never did. I had a few offers to get in some rigs and go, but I fell into this coaching deal pretty much while I was in college, right out of college. Doc Gardner asked me if I'd stick around and help the year after I graduated. So me and Brett Franks were Doc Gardner's assistants at Panhandle when he passed away in '96, and then I didn't like the direction the program was going to go with who they was replacing him with, and I didn't think it was going to be good, and it turned out it wasn't good. But Greg Kernick, he had been our assistant. We lived together, and he went to Coach East to take over for Frank Adams down there at Douglas, Arizona, and so I went down there and coached with him for a year, and then me and Jessica got married actually that December. I came back and got married, and we thought she's going to get to do her student teaching down there, and then it didn't happen. They wanted her to do it up here somewhere, and so I got married and went back down there and finished the spring. Everybody's like, "How's married life?" I'm like, "It stinks. I send money home and don't ever see her." But
yeah,
anyway, so I came back here where she grew up, and Norman Stats at Garden City was retiring. He found out I was back in the country, and so he got a hold of me and told me he wanted me to take over for him when he retired. So
how long have you been the coach?
I started out as an assistant coach. Me and Shelly Meyer, it used to be Shelly Johnston. She actually won the all-around at the college finals in the goat time, maybe the breakaway. We started out as co-coaches in '99 officially together, and she was actually the head coach, and I was the assistant for 3 or 4 years. And then she stepped aside to spend more time with her family, and then I took over as head coach. But I've been at Garden City since '99.
Wow.
Well,
and I need to do a different interview with you on the recruiting deal, because when we did that in 2020, I was kind of in a funk, and that was not. I went back and watched that the other day. That wasn't a very good interview. And
no, we got to redo it.
Our scholarships are a lot better now, and so and I'm in a better mood now as well.
Well, listen, 2020 was a funk, period. Yeah. So yeah, we got to redo that.
When did you leave California, Tony?
We left 2022.
I bet you were really ready to go after COVID.
Well, that's why we left. Honestly, my wife came to me in October of 21. Actually called me. I was at work. She goes, "Hey, I'm meeting with our friend Janae, who's a realtor, lives next door to us. Have some wine at 3." I said, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna see what our house is worth." I'm like, "What?
Hey, what?"
And I get home at 5. She goes, "Yeah, we can make some money on our house, and I think we need to go out to Texas and look around." And I'm like, "Okay." So I go to my mom and dad, the matriarch and patriarch of the family, the leaders of the 6 generations that are, farming and ranching family in California. And I told my mom, "Hey, and Dad, Charlotte's wanting to leave. She's had to wear a mask for 2 years at school. Kylie's had to wear a mask her whole freshman year. They're just tired of it." I thought my mom would say, "Okay, hey, we'll talk her off the ledge. We'll figure something out." My mom and dad go, "Okay, you guys find a place, we'll follow." I mean, I went with the silver bullet to just stop this, and it was, I got myself. It was a done deal. So we packed up, we moved, and it's been the best thing for us because the lockdowns out there, I guess what it showed us out there was California's been corrupt for a long time, but when you're in our industry, the Western lifestyle, Western world, you put your head down, you work hard, you're in your group. Well, the shutdown just showed us what it did to everything.
How bad it was.
Yeah.
I seen the other day that the rodeo deal come up on the LA Council again.
Yeah, they're going to push it through. I mean, they eventually will get the votes for it. And they'll shut rodeo down in LA County, and as the county of LA and or the city of LA and the city of San Francisco go, the state goes. And it's just a sad state of the state. And, you know, when we left there, I made my last Facebook post when we were leaving in June of 22. And I said, hey, you know, most breakups, it's, you know, it's not you, it's me. But I said, it is you, California. You're beautiful on the outside, but you're toxic on the inside. And that's why we're leaving. So
what's going to happen to those rodeo programs that are in California?
They're going to keep fighting the good fight. I think they're going to stay. They'll do the best they can. They've got some great leadership out there right now in college rodeo, out there on the West Coast. But you know, they've got some good backing right now. But it's just it's a tidal wave out there. And you know, we watched on Fox News the other night. My wife and I, we sat and watched the governor's debate between Ron DeSantis of Florida and Gavin Newsom of California. And Newsom just flat lied, and he would deflect and redirect questions he'd never answer. And, you know, it's scary that people just fall for a hook, line, and sinker. And the agriculture industry, the Western lifestyle industry, it's dying out there, unfortunately. And I'm saying that as someone that my roots will always be there. My heart is still there because that was born and raised. And there was one time I remember talking to Daniel Green, and he said, you can make the NFR by just staying at rodeos in California. There were over 90 rodeos in California, pro rodeos that you could go to. And you know, if a guy got on a roll, and now I don't know if there's 50. You know, I'd have to talk to Reno Ross or Flying U Rodeo, those guys, to find out if there's 50 pro rodeos in California still.
Yeah. I know Sean Gleason is kind of one of the voices to be heard, I suppose, in regards to that kind of fight.
Yeah.
So, what is it? Protect the Harvest?
Protect the Harvest is one of them. Jesse Segura, who coached college rodeo for a long time out there on the West Coast, he started a program it's probably been 5 or 6 years ago now. I can't remember the name. Western Heritage Foundation,
Western Sports Foundation?
Or Western Heritage Foundation, I think. I can't remember what off the top of my head, but just people trying to, you know, save the lifestyle out there. But, you know, yeah. I had a young lady reach out to me earlier this week, said, hey, we need you to move back. We want you to run for supervisor of the county. I'm like, I can't. My life is here now. My family is here. We can make it work. I don't want to make it work. I don't want to get into politics out there. I am not slimy enough to be in politics.
Well, yeah, we took a big old.
Well, we veered. So hey, let's get back to rodeo stuff.
I'm
fun
supposed
stuff.
to be keeping everybody on task here, but before we get too far, Branded Buzzworm has a shirt that says "Don't California, my Wyoming." So there you go.
Oh, Greg, I promise you, and there's a lot of those shirts here in Texas too. And I promise you, a lot of people that are moving from California, at least to the rural areas, maybe not to the city areas, we're moving here.
They're looking for this.
We're looking for this. You know, I found a place that's God, family, country. It's still important. It's the norm, not the exception. Yeah. And I had a lot of people back home in California say, hey, what's it like out there? I said, it reminds me of California 30 years ago, you know, when I was in high school, where, you know, you're driving down the street and a guy just, hey, throws up a hand. You know, I'm out on my morning jogs. People wave and kind of move out of the way. California, they put two hands on the wheel and veer into you because, hey, let's see how many people we could take out. But hey,
all right, you're wrestling.
All right, so Dalton Massey has had a phenomenal year, $193,000, almost $500. But Jesse Brown's only $33,000 behind, so less, you know, a little over a go round. Then you got the 4-time champ Wegas back at $146,000. Big Will Loomis, who clipped the barrier last year in the 10th round, that cost him the gold buckle. And you could see the look on Weg's face when he realized that he won the world because Will got the barrier. And then Ty Erickson rounds out your top 5. He's your 2019 world champion. You know, JD Struckness is back. Dakota Eldridge is back. I think he's on his 14th or 15th trip. Now, the story to me that I'm impressed with, Dirk Tavner. He's number 8 in the world. Dirk, if you guys don't remember, was the one that blew his knee out right before the finals last year, showed up at the NFR with the torn ACL. I think his knee was completely trashed. Bulldog 10 days. I think he placed a little bit, but I don't think he got cleared to rodeo or, was ready to go till May or June. And he jumps up top 8. He's 107th, almost 108,000. Cody Devers is at 9. Even calling it 10. Jacob Talley, 11. Stan Brakel's back for his second trip. It's been a few years since he's been here. Nick Guy is back. Bridger Anderson is making his second trip to the NFR, but his first trip to the Thomas & Mack, his first qualification was in Arlington in the 2020 COVID year. And then Don Payne is 15th with 84,000. So I think Dalton Massey has been on a tear this year. With my prediction in round 1, I think Big Will Loomis comes back with a vengeance. He's upset about losing that gold buckle because of the barrier. I think Will Loomis wins your round 1 with Wegas Pack in there in the top 5, Jesse Brown, and I think Dirk Tavner gets a piece of it tonight too. But my pick is Will Loomis.
I have Will Loomis in my team, so my pick would also be Will Loomis. I had forgotten about that barrier thing. Apparently my memory is going.
But that wasn't a very good steer. Like he had to max that out.
No, he had to max him out, and that steer didn't he? He didn't start sharp, but then he took off or something, Jim Boy. So it wasn't that he just run through the barrier. He had to take that start on him because if he spots him, then he gets outrun. So it was, it was kind of it was unfortunate. It was a tough steer to get by in the 10th round, but I think Will comes back with, like I say, with a vengeance. That's my pick in the steer wrestling. I think it's going to be. I don't know what these steers are. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they're coming from, but I think it's going to be very, very good bulldogging because it's tight. Steer wrestling is one of the tightest races every year. They're stacked up, and 85,000 to 165,000.
Yeah.
You say you win 80,000 for the average, and you win around. Means you're placed along the way. You could technically pull yourself into that, into those standings. So, into the world race. No, you want to talk about team roping?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we've got 2-time reigning world champion Caleb Driggers winning the heading. He's got about a $6,000 lead over Tyler Wade. Nelson Wyatt is 3rd. Dustin Egaskiza is 4th. Derek Begay. Now, that's the story. Derek Begay and Coulter Todd. Derek Begay is 5th. And the gentleman we had on our show last year, I hope we can get it back on, Mr. Coleman Proctor, is your 6th place header. Rim Richard, he's sitting at 7th. He had the big win at Houston, him and Jeremy Bueller. 8th is Eric Rogers. 9th, last year's NFR average winner and reserve world champion, Tanner Tomlinson. Andrew Ward and Buddy Hawkins are back again. Andrew's 10th. 11th is Clay Smith. 12 is the NFR rookie, Marcus Terrio. Clint Summers is back again for another NFR at 13th. Jake Clay, another NFR rookie out of Oklahoma, is making his first NFR appearance. And then the grizzled old veteran who hasn't been in a while, Luke Brown, is back at number 15. So you've got a mix of NFR rookies, some veterans, some guys that haven't been there in a while on the heading side. On your heeling side, now this is where we got the split. You've got the 2019 world champion Wesley Thorpe ahead of last year's world champion Junior by $12,000. And this is the cool one. Last time Coulter Todd was at the finals, I believe it was over 10 years ago, and he was there as a header. His buddy Derek Begay says, hey, I got to go rodeo. My grandma says she wants me to rodeo. She wants to see me make the finals. You want to come heel for me? Coulter says, okay. Coulter's been just ranching in Arizona. He is 3rd in the world and they have a legitimate shot at the world title. Coulter Todd and Derek Begay. That is an awesome story. Levi Lord is 4th. Logan Medlin, 132,000 is 5th. Then you got Jeremy Bueller coming off his $50,000 win at Houston in 6th. Paul Eves, who we have not seen Paul Eves at the finals since 2020 when he won the world. He's sitting 7th. Patrick Smith is 8th. Buddy Hawkins at 9th. Jake Long, 10th. Peyton Bray. Now that's Peyton Bray and Brenton Hall. were roping together. Brenton wound up 16th. Hayden is going in at 11th with 98,000. Hunter Cook, 97,000. Cole Curry, Marcus Terriot's partner at the finals, is another NFR rookie, 13th. Jonathan Torres is making his second appearance at the finals 2 years in a row, 14th. And Tyler Worley, and we all know that story about the NFR team roping controversy, is your 15th place healer going in. I know the steers were here in Stephenville getting broke in. They roped them at the Jingle Bell Classic team roping, and those steers were strong. Now, there's scored them out a little farther. We know we get inside that building at Thomas and Mack, everything's kind of right on top of them. Man, my prediction for round one, I think I'm going to go with Coulter Todd and Derek Begay. I just think it's a Cinderella story. Not even a Cinderella story. It would be the most epic story of, hey, I'm done rodeoing, but guess what? I'm going to go rope with my buddy this year and go out and win the world. I think Derek Begay and Coulter Todd win the round tonight is my prediction.
Is it common for these guys to change partners like mid-season? And is that how, because sometimes you'll see where the header and healer don't come in the same placing.
Yeah, well, like some of these guys, like Tyler Worley, I know he had a few partners through the year. Clay Smith was roping with Jake Long at the beginning of the year, and then after Houston, they split, and he started roping with Colby Payne, and Jake, I can't remember, Jake kind of had a few different partners. So, or if somebody decides to go home, they switch partners, it breaks money up, and I think that's kind of where we're at right now, and like I say, if you look at, they've got it here in the Pro Fantasy book, the team roping pairing. I just got to find what page it's on, and that's why you've got the split. But if you look at the money one, I can go back here, one of my mini screens. Junior and Caleb, I believe, have the same amount of money, the 160,000. Coulter's got more than Derek, so Coulter went to another rodeo or something. What's more, Ren and Jeremy have the same amount. I think Coleman and Logan have the same amount. So it's just, like I say, and a guy might, there was one year I remember Cody Snow and Wesley Thorpe. I think Wesley stayed in Texas because his wife was going to have a baby or something. Cody went out to California, and so he got a partner out there. So even though they roped together most of the year, there might have been a month or a couple of weeks that the guys rope with somebody else, or a guy flies back to be at a circuit rodeo. So that money, he's counting that money. So
yeah. So Marcus and Cole will be joining us tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's going to be good. Going to be fun.
We'll be able to talk to them. I don't think either one of them are really new to the big rodeo scene, but I think just, does the rookie aspect play that much into it at this stage, or is it just another rodeo?
I think, and knowing Marcus, this is just, Marcus is going to be Marcus, no matter if it's at the local open rope, local open jackpot. Marcus is going to be Marcus, and he's going to bring his best if it's at a dummy roping. So I think being in the Thomas and Mack, his dad has probably groomed him. Herbert Terry, the 1994 tie-down roping world champion, reserve all-around champion that year. I remember Marcus at the timed events when Herbert was competing, riding around on his pony running cattle out. And Herbert getting on him. And he's
not just it. It's like the Thomas and Mack for him. He probably knows where all the secret tunnels are because he was running around there as a kid.
Exactly. So I don't think this is going to be that big a deal for him. And a lot of these guys in the timed events, we've come so far from, hey, it's the NFR. People are setting up arenas and practicing in the dimensions of setups. A lot of guys were going over to Northside there in Fort Worth. The arena is very similar in the setup. So they're making actual, not just practice runs, they're actually competing at rodeos in that setup. One thing that I talked to CJ Aragon, we talked about it yesterday, and he said his bareback rider, Cole Franks, who made the finals a couple years ago, was saying The one thing about these rookie rough stock riders, though, they may get on 10 in a row in 10 days or whatever, but now you're getting on the best of the best animals. So that's going to be a little different. It's going to be, I'm not going to say the nerves are going to get them or anything different, but it's going to be a little more taxing on their body. But then again, these rough stock riders also are workout junkies now. It's not just, smoke a Marlboro, drink a whiskey or a Coors Banquet beer in the back and get on. They're hitting the gym. They're stretching. They've got chiropractors. They got massage therapists. So these guys are taking care of business. But I don't think at this stage, a lot of these rookies, they're ready for it. They're ready for the big show. But
so you mentioned it, but we'll actually have Doug Champion on next week. He's kind of the founder and creator of Champion Living Fitness, and I know they've been instrumental in bringing that physical fitness aspect to the sport. And that, I mean, there were a handful of cowboys that kind of got on that bandwagon before 2020, but I really feel like that, I mean, that's when Doug and his crew kind of took off in their coaching careers as far as the fitness is concerned. So he's always really good to have on. Oh yeah, no, it's going to be, that'll be Doug. I remember when Doug and Logan came on in 2021 and they were outstanding. So. All right, let's saddle bronc ride. Man, here we are with another rookie coming in at the top. Stetson Wright? Or wait, oh no, I'm looking at tie down. Sorry. I was like, you're like, what? I was like, you're losing it. That's going to win Rookie of the Year in his fifth all around. I'm not sure how that works, but whatever. Oh man, this is a loaded field. I mean, bro, you've got last year's Reserve World Champion Lefty Holman. He's coming in 14th. Brody Kress, multiple-time NFR average winner. He's coming in 12th. I mean, Wyatt Casper, the season leader from 2020, he's coming in, I think, 10th. Ryder Wright, two-time world champions, 8th or 9th. I mean, Dawson Hay, Zeke Thurston's coming in 4th. Cade Bruno, Sage Newman, but Stetson Wright has been the one, I mean, all year long. Let's see, what's Stetson got here? Stetson's coming in with $251,000. I mean, he's only got a $3,000 lead over Sage Newman, and then about a $25,000 lead over Cade Bruno. Zeke Thurston's only $30,000 behind him. A go-round. He's a go-round behind him. Dawson's about $98,000 behind him at 5th. Then Ben Anderson's at 6th. Ryder Wright is behind his brother by $100,000 at 7th. Wyatt Casper at 8th. Chase Brooks at 9th. Leighton Green at 10. Tanner Butner, 11. Brody Kress at 12th. Damian Brennan, 13th. And then Lefty Holman and Ryder Sanford at round out your top 15. But, I mean, it's a loaded field in the saddle bronc riding. I mean, it's going to be good. Let's see if I can figure out who's got what, because I have no idea. Yeah, Lunatic Party. Damian Brennan has that. Brody Kress has got Rubles. OLS Tubbs Little Muffin. Wyatt Casper's got Tubbs Little Muffin. I just think that name's funny. Stetson Wright, Double Red. Cade Bruno, Raging Lunatic. Dawson Hay, Roundups Marquee. Man. Ryder Wright, Trump card. And Trump spelled Trump. I like that. Oh. Okay. So can I talk to me about Brody? Brody Kress has made it to the finals a handful of times, and historically, I would say usually does pretty well with the all around. Last year, I don't know that he did as well, but it always seems like he gets there and comes in strong, but just doesn't really finish. Well, I mean, if you look at Brody, you know, he's won 3 average titles, 17, 19, and 21. He's had 6 qualifications, you know, last year. So it's not that he doesn't finish well. I think just the years that, you know, last year's NFR only 63,000. So, and he won 3rd in the average last year. Yeah. So it's not like he's had bad finals. Yeah. If you look at his earnings last year, he probably won 20 some out of the average or 30 out of the average. That's another 30 in go rounds. If you know, if you go through that. So it wasn't that he had
a bad final, just wasn't as good. You know?
I would really like. I don't know. I mean, I guess I suppose it could be his year. He can come up from 12th, but I would really like to see him, win a gold buckle. Probably because he's from Wyoming, but also because he just has been so consistent at the finals in the average.
Well, and like it says last year, he finished third in the average, but he placed once in round one, gathering a split of fifth place finish for 86.5 points. So I mean, just going off this, he only placed in one round. So, which that is highly unlikely to happen again. Brody's due for a breakthrough, but like I say, Stetson has just been on fire this year.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, that's who I got, Jennifer. I picked Lefty, not because I'm a California homer, but because the man had it from amazing finals last year, missed a horse out. I think he got bucked off one, too, but missed one out also that essentially cost him the gold buckle. So I think he's going to come back with a vengeance, and that's my pick, and my prediction for round one is Lefty Holman.
Jim Boy,
where are you seeing the draw at?
Oh, the draw is I went to you got to go down to first performance Friday night 12/8 day sheet. It's in the NFR tab on the Pro Rodeo page.
Oh. Okay.
Spotted Blues for Ryder Sanford, Lefty Holman's Amazon Hills, Lunatic Party Damian Brennan, Rubles for Brody Kress.
What?
Once you go to the NFR tab, then where do you go?
So go to NFR tab and then go to results and then click on day sheets.
I would not have clicked in there. Day sheets.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, I hope they read some reviews last year and paid attention to some people to, have better coverage this year on things. It was like the breakaway the other day. It took me quite a while after the first 5 rounds of the breakaway into that evening. I think it was late that evening or even the next morning before I saw an average update. I mean, I looked all over WPRA site, the PRCA, NFR. It took a while to find the standings after the first 5 rounds. And I'm like, golly, like our region secretary, they're in the Central Plains. We have a new secretary. And I mean, she has it like the kids, she started up a website for us, and the kids can look and see.
And it's updated fast
over who is in the short go,
Nice.
And I mean, I'm like, okay, there's no reason they can't have somebody
doing that.
Oh my goodness. All right, so I made my pick. Who are you guys thinking?
What's the best horse out tonight? That's a hard question, I feel like.
I don't know a lot of them, but I'm not going to tell you who I'll have on my team because there's still time for people to get teams, and I don't want them copying me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Cade Bruno and Raging Lunatic.
Yeah, I like Raging Lunatic. I just like the name. Yeah, I'm that guy. How'd you pick your team? I don't know.
I wonder whose ex-girlfriend that horse is named after.
Well, the horse would go back to Lunatic Fringe. So you ought to take some rain. I bucked some colts not too long ago. He's a 3 or 4 year old, and I mean, this dude almost had the bridge of his face level with the ground going across there. He was tipping it that much. What's he saying? Stetson can't win the Triple Crown if he doesn't win 2 events.
Yeah, he can't win the Triple Crown. Greg spitting truth and facts. Thank you, Greg.
So Is that who you have on your team then, Greg? Chad Ramirez, you already bought your team. Can I still get in the league? Yeah. Do you want to know how I do that? Me and my friend Ryan at Pro Fantasy Rodeo is probably going to block me.
Yeah, you need to get Chad in our league because he didn't get signed up for it when he signed up his team. So.
Yep, I'll get Chad. I will email my friend. Chad, message me or the NFR page what your team name is, and I will make it. I will not make it happen, but Ryan at Pro Fantasy Rodeo will make it happen.
Heidi will call somebody that can make it happen. Creator of opportunities, right? That's it. Creator of opportunities. Heidi Foy,
Ryan
right?
McLean is my go-to.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, message me your team name. There you go. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, we're going over today.
Yeah. So should we bust out our predictions of the next 3 events real quick?
Yeah, tie down.
All right. So Riley Webb has had a phenomenal year. He had a decent finals last year. He was on our Pro Fantasy team. He's a graduate of White Horse Christian Academy where my wife teaches. We took him last year. I told her there's no way we're taking him this year. It costs way too much money. But he is having an epic season. I mean, if you look at his I got way too many computers open here. It's crazy. He's coming in. Tie down roping. Where you at?
280,000.
Riley's got 280,001, but Shad closed the gap at the Governor's Cup playoff. And Shad's got 206,000, so he's about 74,000 behind Riley, which, like I say, that's 2 go-rounds, 2.5 go-rounds. You know, so you've got your 2020 world champion in second behind Riley, your 2019 world champion Haven Medjed in third, your 13 or 14 world champion Shane Hanchey in fourth, Ty Harrison fifth, Weston Hughes in sixth. But here's the one that I think everybody needs to watch out for. Caleb Schmidt, yeah, he's 150,000 behind Riley Webb. That's a hard gap to close, but nobody has been more consistent in that building the last 2 years than Caleb Schmidt on pockets. So right there, and I think he was a steal for pro fantasy people because he's 7th. It's not costing you a lot of money, and he's hard to beat in that building. Corey Solomon's 8th. Kincaid Henry, making his second trip to the finals, is in 9th. Blaine Cox is 10th. Bo Cooper, who, if you guys remember, the controversy at Houston about the broken barrier cost him the 50,000, and it would have put him in the top 15. They said he broke the barrier. There was a controversy over the call. Well, he goes and wins the 50,000 at Calgary. I think 25,000 of that counted. He's making his first finals appearance. So that is a exciting story inside of the tie down rope. And he's 11th. Bruston Mitten, he's first time NFR qualifier at 12th. John Dausch, making his 3rd trip to the NFR, is in 13th. Hunter Heron, back again ever since he had that hip cleaned out and everything he did, made it back in 2020. He has been a mainstay at the finals the last 4 years again. And then Tough Cooper, the man that put 100 million miles on his vehicle the last 2 weeks of the rodeo season, got in there at 15th to continue his streak of NFR qualification. So there's your top 15. My pick, round 1, I'm going to say Caleb Schmidt knows he's got to come out swinging. I think he goes and wins round 1. That's my prediction.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I say the fastest guy wins tonight.
I think that's kind of accurate. That's pretty accurate. So I know we're going long, so I'm going to jump to the barrel racing. Man, Brittany Tanazi, wow, $110,000 lead over Jordan Briggs coming in. Jordan Briggs is
up good too.
Oh yeah, Jordan Briggs, she's your 2021 world champion, and then she's, like I say, 110,000 behind. But we saw Tiani Schuster that 1 year coming with $100,000 plus lead over, I can't remember who it was. And I think it might have been Haley Kinsel that got her that year. So $110,000 lead is huge, but it's not insurmountable. Emily Beisel, there's your girl, Jim Boy. She's sitting 3rd. What inside track you got on her? Her and Chongo ready to rock and roll?
Well, I hope so. He had enough of a rest lately. He was kind of chunky. The picture I seen of him the other day, looking like me, but I feel bad for. I know we're going long, but I feel bad for Austin, Emily's husband, Austin. Austin wasn't he didn't grow up around this stuff. He was a gym rat, and he was at home the other day. She left him there because he works in the oil field, so it'll be a few days before he gets out there. But one of her horses ran into a fence. I mean, he was scraped up pretty good, and I guess he hit it so hard his nostril was bleeding a little bit. So I think Austin.
So he's at home taking care of horses?
Huh?
He's at home taking care of horses?
Yeah.
Oh.
So Tom calls me, says, "Hey, can you send Jalen out there to help him a little bit?" I said, "Yeah." So Jalen and his roommate, they went out there to kind of moral support and help hold the horse and I think he was fine, but it's kind of, he had blood all over his hoodie, and that was the night of the incident the other day. I told Austin, I said, I had Jalen FaceTime me and show me the wound so I can kind of help decide what to do. And I told Austin, I said, "You tell Emily when you get out there, she owes you a new hoodie." And I said, go ahead and wear that one out there. I'm like, "Nah, you might not with all that blood on there."
Oh, that's funny.
But I would say Haley Kinsel behind Sage Kimsey. I'm going to say Sage was probably the highest ranked pick in pro fantasy, and I would bet Haley was right behind him.
Yeah, I think you're right. Those two probably were on 80%, if not more, teams.
So listen, Lisa Lockhart has been on 5 of the winning pro fantasy average teams.
Yep, I saw that too. Oh my goodness. Well,
also the 2023 for the American Rodeo game, helping put 6 Dodge trucks and Bloomer trailers in fantasy players' hands. So, I mean, you're picking the barrel racing is pretty.
It's important.
Yeah.
But I think round 1.
There should be a first aid kit award for the most dedicated barrel racer boyfriend or husband.
Hey, I think Emily's husband might need a rodeo bum award just for that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm really going to go out on a limb here. I think Haley wants to try to close the gap. Doesn't know if she can win the world because she's 165,000 out of first. But man, I don't know.
Emily is on a roll. She did so well. There's a message here. Emily's Red Sonar has been kicking ass and pins at home. I feel like she's kind of on a winning streak right now.
And I'm going with the home team. I'm going with Jim Boy's girl. My pick is Emily Beisel for the round win tonight. You know what? The Beisel bands, I think we need to promote them more too. And just, you know, I think Emily gets the round win tonight. I think I'm going to go out on a big limb. I think Emily has an outstanding 5,000 and wins a gold buckle and reels in Brittany. I've seen her husband. His arms are as big as my head. I'm not going to bet against him. He could crush me like that.
Jim Boy,
I think Emily's due. Emily's due to get the gold buckle.
What are those shots?
Oh, Beisel bombs.
Yeah.
Beisel bomb. Well, they were. It used to be a Tawaka bomb, but we renamed them Beisel bombs. I went ahead and got started on them last night. I'm like, I don't care if there's a rodeo or not. We're getting started on them tonight.
You can't get off your rotation.
You got to keep all about structure, routine.
Yeah.
Listen, we're apparently all team Emily because Debbie's coming in with Emily. Aspen, Kansas all the way. I got some new fans in Kansas now.
Oh my goodness. All right. Bull riding. It's bull riding time. And once again, it's a Stetson Wright show. So I listened to, my brother has a YouTube show or podcast. I'm not going to even mention him unless he comes on our show. But he interviewed Kai and Stetson. And that was one of the best interviews I've ever heard because those guys are great. But then Kai has an outstanding year. He's won $250,000 in the bull riding, and he's second because Stetson's got about 14,000 more than him won. But those are your top two. Josh Frost, once again, your Litterman Award winner. He's third. with 232,000. Tristan Hutchins, 181,000. Trey Holston's 5th with 178. Creek Young, Hayes Waite is 7th. T. Parker, the rookie, 152,000. Sage Kimsey's back at the finals with 150. Or excuse me, Trey Kimsey, then Sage Kimsey. So we all know, for those that don't know, Sage Kimsey had made the finals, but was going to get disqualified again like he did last year for not going to 45 minimum rodeo count. He entered for, I forget how long it was, before he got cleared by the doctor to actually ride. He would enter rodeos, pull his rope, hang on to the end of the rope, put his foot on the bull, and nod, and they'd kick the bull out to get his rodeo count. He's back. He's gunning for his 8th gold buckle to try to tie Donnie Gay's record. He's got a lot of ground to make up. I don't know if there's enough money or time to do it, but I expect him to have a phenomenal finals. He's coming in healthy. He was riding for on the PBR teams once he got cleared to ride. He was riding on for the PBR, teams. He was riding sharp. He's at 10th. Jordan Hansen's 11th. Darren Parsonage is 12th. Cody Teal, the last one to win a gold buckle in the PRCA that isn't named Stetson Wright or Sage Kimsey, is 13th. Jeff Askey is 14th. And Cullen Telfer is 15th. Man, and I don't know. Let me see if I can figure out who's got what drawn tonight in the bull riding. We have got, let's see. Kai Hamilton's got Vitalix Theodore. Stetson Wright's got Hercules. Josh Frost is OS Tubbs Ugly Wish. Tristan Hutchins got Gladiator Hammer. Sage Kimsey's got Dirty Dave. And so I don't know enough about these bulls. I think Sage is coming with a vengeance. I think Stetson doesn't buck off very many. But I'm going with, according to my daughter, a guy she thinks really cute, loves his accent, Kai Hamilton for the win tonight. Talked to his former coach, CJ Aragon, yesterday. Said Kai is healthy, riding good, feeling good. So I think Kai Hamilton with the win on Vitalix Theodore.
Stetson goes 90 to win it tonight.
That is very, I think that being very, very, very plausible. So
now wait. So do you know the bull then? Like, what do you know?
Nah, Jimmy told me that the other day. I mean, he gave me a list here. He said Stetson will be 90, Creek Young 88, Josh Frost 87, Trey Holston 86. They should ride 7 or 8 bulls.
Really? That'll be a heck of a start.
Well, this first pin, they let them just kind of get warmed up and get going. They actually ought to ride more than that, probably. That Gladiator's Hammer or whatever, wasn't he the bucking bull of the year just like 2 years ago, maybe?
I think he might have been. I think you're right.
But I think tonight they just kind of let them have fun and get warmed up. So.
All right. There you go.
I just hope they can finish the finals with more than, 12
bull riders? 8?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't remember if it was bull riding or bareback riding last year. They were
I think it might have been both of them. They were down contest. Their purse sped up quite. They could have brought the breakaway rope ones in for the last 4 purse because they had time.
I thought they was going to have to take up walk-up replacements.
Walk-up entries. Well, you guys, hey, this has been fun. I know we went longer than we wanted to, but I'm excited. The rodeo's kicking and rolling. I'm excited to do the show again with you guys. I appreciate being part of the team. Heidi, you've got your hands full for the next few days, keeping us on track. As you can see, we segued way off course 2 or 3 times, but hey, you're like herding cats. You just kind of bring Jimbo and I back to center. So
I might not be able to join you in the morning. I'm going to run down and see my dad. I got to take a saddle rack to him. He's hell bent to have his saddle rack and his saddle in his room there at the rest home. So
that is awesome.
So I'm going to run down to Canadian, and then we'll stay the night. But I'll join y'all Sunday morning before I leave.
Okay, perfect. So tomorrow we have Marcus Serio and Cole Curry. We'll talk a little bit of team roping, and hopefully those boys will have some stories about what's going on in Vegas right now.
Hopefully they have stories they can tell and we don't get censored off of Facebook that we can share with them.
I mean, we might be censored after that TikTok. Goodness.
Or Jim Boy Googling himself.
Oh, by the way, too, there's a little deal that popped up yesterday. Dennis Anderson, an old hand from way back when. I guess he wrote a song. He sent it to me here. I got to watch it. He sent me a video. I got to watch and listen to it. See if I bet would be okay. But I guess he wrote a song about 30 years ago about getting on in slack at the NFR. And
oh, cool!
It kind of popped up yesterday, so I'll have to send it to you guys, and so we may have to try to get Dennis on and play a song for us.
That would be cool.
That'd be perfect. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. A quick shout out to our partnerships, Rodeo Bum and Branded Buzzworm. Make sure you guys check out their website, brandedbuzzworm.com. Those things, any of your orders from Branded Buzzworm can be available for Christmas presents. So get your orders in early in the week. And of course, shout out to Cinch Jeans and Bullfrog Creatives, creating opportunities for virtual recruitment in the college rodeo world. So if you want more information about that, shout out to Garden City Community College for helping to sponsor that platform. And of course, the 180 Project, Tony's passion project, will be bringing us some go-round awards. Remember, you guys, watch the rodeo tonight and keep in mind that we have that rodeo bum of the go-round. We can talk about that tomorrow. Either hard luck or wherever we decide to.
Hey, it could be hard luck. It could be somebody sets an NFR record in an event that night. I mean, just there's no parameters. We're making it up as we go. So
no. And very similar to the NFR Hangover, y'all remember rodeo bum is kind of an older term that was used for that cowboy or cowgirl that's hitting the road hard. So I will get the definition. It's actually on the back of one of the shirts that I have behind me. So we'll get that definition and talk about it tomorrow. All right, y'all. Rodeo starts tonight. Live stream, Cowboy Channel, RFD TV.
Cowboy Channel Plus. Yep.
Yeah, Cowboy Channel Plus. Lots of options. I actually went the Sling route. So I got a Sling membership or subscription. So lots of different ways to watch. If you guys have any questions between now and tomorrow morning, you know where to find us. And we will, until tomorrow, you guys have a great day.
Bye, guys. Catch you tomorrow.